All right, so we're up to Simon Nun Hey Halacha Vav Sivov. V'im hischil echod me'asor l'spal levadai. If one of the 10, you've got a minion, and one of the 10 davens by himself, ein yochelanis imohem, and he can't respond, either because he's somewhere else in davening, he's behind, oishu yoshin, your 10th man is sleeping. Afilu hachi mitztaref imohem. Amazing. Even though the guy is shluffing at the back, he's allowed to join your minion. Says the Mishnah Berurah, echod me'asar. Hu adin yosem echod. Even if it's more than one, so long as the majority are there, she'ein mispalim shon esra b'yecholin lanes amen imohem. That he's not davening shon esra and he's therefore unable to answer amen with them. So long as you've got the majority. However, there are those who are machmir and say that you need 9, and therefore it can only be one who's not actually davening with you, and that will be okay. Now, with regard to the person who's sleeping, for sure you can't have 2 people shluffing. If there's one guy shluffing, then you've still got your minion. Because there are even those who say that even one sleeping person does not count for your minion if he's not participating, if he's asleep. I'm a prima god mishakosov. Du adin in zimun. The same is true regarding zimun asar gam ken yoshim mitzdarf l'das hashulchan aruch k'molin tefillah. The same way that the Shulchan Aruch says that the sleeping person counts for your minion. If you've got a suda, sometimes it can happen on Purim. And you've got 9 people there and one person sleeping. So in the same way, says the Shulchan Aruch, that it works for tefillah, it works for birchas hamazon, for zimun, or the Indian kriyas haTorah and the siyas kapayim tzarich. Regarding laning kriyas haTorah and duchening tzarich iyun. In the note 42, he quotes the Bi'alocha from further on. He says yesh lefarish regarding kriyas haTorah. Yesh lifshot es hatzofek sheledas haShulchan Aruch lo mel letzarf yoshin. That when it comes to kriyas haTorah, the Bi'alocha further on says that you should not join a 10th sleeping man to your minion. In Kriyas HaMegillah, but if your 10th man is shluffing during the Megillah, which is, I guess, maybe the next morning, is more motzui than the evening, Ein HaYoshim Mitzdaref La'asor L'Kula Alma, your 10th sleeping man cannot join to Megillah Boy Asor L'Persum Nisa, because the Megillah needs Persum Nisa, V'Yoshin Leka Pirsum, and if the guy is shluffing, there's no Pirsum. Mitzdarefim Mohem, he can join the minion. When you've got 10 people, 10 adult people, that the Shechina is there, as it says, the Nigdashi b'seich b'nei Yisrael, Korin b'hu. V'lo yidom el cotton to lav bar kedusha, and therefore a cotton is not a bar kedusha. V'ayim b'taz shechelik l'in yoshin. Now, this is what the Mishnah Berurah mentioned earlier. The Taz argues when it comes to the yoshin. The Taz holds that a sleeping person cannot join the minion. V'hiskim imay pri chodesh the yoshin choshev k'shoita, and the pri chodesh agrees with him because the yoshin is sort of dead to the world and is considered like a shoita. Ayin shom. Al kein lechatchila b'vadai ein lahakitzoy. Therefore, and therefore, what should you do? If you want to have a minion, you've got to wake him up. At least wake him up that he's sort of half alive. That he's misnamneim, he's sort of slumbering, even though he's not fully alert. Check out the Bi'alocha, the top Bi'alocha. Osho Yoshin, I'm Mishnah Berurah Memhei, shekosavnu delachatchila yesh al kol ponim la'iroi. You should wake him up. And if that doesn't work, practically, it's actually difficult to know what to do. Because even the Pri Megadim says that if you're going to rely on the Shulchan Aruch, who allows a sleeping person to be your 10th man, you haven't lost out. Maybe in a place where Kaddish and Kedusha is said loud, maybe b'makom adchak you can be makel and allow the sleeping 10th man to join your minion. And there's no problem with bracha v'atola. V'chein mashma and Pri Megadim dezeh kill yosef. This is actually, we can be makel with this. Okay, so there you go. Machlokas, but b'shas adchak we can rely on the opinion of the Shulchan Aruch to allow a sleeping 10th man to join our minion. Amazing. Okay, halacha zayin. K'she'echod mispala levadoi. When one person is davening on his own, if you've got 10 people and one guy is sort of behind, he's not up to speed with everyone else, it's preferable if you can to wait for him to be mezakeh him that he can respond to davening, to Amen, etc. Nochen, afilu im yesh minyan bilado. Even if there's a minyan without him, you've got 15 people and there's one guy waiting. If you can, wait for the guy. Ad sheyigmar. V'wadin biyoshin. So too with regarding the sleeping person. Tzarich lakitza. Dim leirot zelamed ein tzarich lahamdin. V'im leirot zelamed ein tzarich lahamdin. If the guy is refusing to get up at the back of the shul, you don't have to wait for him. Ladas Shulchan Aruch, like we said above, umitztaref. Avol yesh cholkim bezek meshuk ksavtim besif katan lamadar, like we said above. Kadei sheyizke v'davkim yishua shehus b'yem nispalas. So long as you don't wait too long, that you're not going to miss Sosman, whatever it is. Sosman Krishma Tfilah. Ches. Cheresh hamadaber ve'ena shemea. So Nebuch, you've got a person who is unable to speak, he's mute, but eina shemea. Sorry, you've got a cheresh hamadaber who can speak ve'ena shemea, but he doesn't hear. Oy shemea ve'ena medaber, or he hears but he cannot speak. Hein kapip chin mistarfin. He's considered like a pekach in all matters, and therefore he's mistarf. So therefore, if he can only hear or if he could only speak, then he's a pekach and he joins your minyan. But if he is a deaf mute and can neither hear nor speak, harihu kasheita v'katan, he's considered like a sheita or a katan and cannot therefore join the minyan. Says the Mishnah Berurah in Lamed Ches, cherish hamadaber v'das hataz lekam b'simen kuf chaftalet sif beis she'ein mitzarfin leminyan mi she'ein shemeh afagav shu medaber. He actually argues and says someone who cannot hear, even though he can speak, cannot join the minyan. Why? Because he can't hear and therefore he's not able to answer Amen to all the brachas. However, many agree with the Psak of the Shulchan Aruch v'Soivrin. If that does not mess up the tzir, him joining the minyan, but if he sees other people and he gets their cues from them, then that would be okay. Similar to Dumya Dahanofis Hasidur and Beis HaKnesses Shel Alexandria, the famous Alexandria, the famous big shul in Alexandria where you couldn't hear the chazan. It was such a massive shul. They would wave flags, different systems, and therefore they didn't hear the bracha, but they got their cue from the flags. Well, so to here, if they can, this person Nebuch can't hear, and he sees other people mouthing the words, so that's enough of a trigger for him, and he can certainly join. Because he can ascertain when the shliach tzibur has come to the end of the bracha. Okay, let's just do test quickly. A person is always considered a katan until he produces shtei sa'aros, 2 hairs, after he is 13 years, and a day. If his 13th year is an ibiyah, is a leap year with 30 months, then it needs to be 13 months and not 12 months. Fine. Says the Mishnah Berurah Yud Beis Lamed Tes. Shtei Sa'aros. Check out Even Oezer to know exactly where the 2 hairs have got to be. It's not called a man. He's got to have both. He's got to have 13 years plus shtei sa'aros. Just like other shiurim halach al Moshe Sinai, this one as well halach al Moshe Sinai is you've got to be 13 years and shtei sa'aros. However, we know that once he's hit 13, there is a chazaka sheviu shtei sa'aros that we assume he's produced shtei sa'aros. Even if we see that this kid has not got shtei sa'aros, we assume that he had and they just dropped out, they slipped out, they detached from his body. Because that's just the way of these hairs. Sometimes they do detach from the body. Sometimes because of he's too skinny, sometimes it's because of the fat, these hairs drop out. However, we don't rely on this chazaka always, totally. It's a sophic, and therefore, if it's a deraisa, for example, can he lay in Pasha Zocha, which is a deraisa, then we say not, but b'drabanan lekula. V'ayin lekam b'simen kuf sadites, Morgan Avram sif cotton zayin, v'tzarachin k'tzas, v'ayin le'el, b'sif cotton, lamed aleph, mashe kusav nesham b'rim negodim. Sif cotton mem aleph. Ben yud gimel shana. V'oviv meheimen lo alzeh, v'lo ish acher. The father and no one else is believed that the kid is considered a godly in this respect. Kedis b'kedushin samach thalad lamed aleph, b'toisim ha'maskal nemon. V'immeis oviv, and if the father is no longer alive, any day mosanasi ben yud gimel shana, and the kid doesn't know his own birth date, right? It happened in the war and other times. L'chayr dinahu when he produced shtei sa'aros, then chayiv lizav mitzvah Torah kedin shagadol. We got to assume he's got a din of a godel in the Sofik Deraisa. The Sofik Deraisa. The Yoim Echod, next the Mishnah Berurah, Lav Dafka Yoim, Elakivan Shenichnas Tchilas Hayom Mishnas Yudalet. Once he begins the 14th year, in the very beginning of that first day of the 14th year, Vafilu Shah Achas, Vafilu Rega Achas, even 1 moment Sagi, Vafilu Noel Besoif Yom Rosh Hashanah, even if he's born at the end of the day, let's say Rosh Hashanah, Kivash Adayin Huvada Yoim, since that's already the beginning of that day, Nasa Ben Yud Gimel Shalom B'Tchil Leil Rosh Hashanah, Shashonah Yudalet. V'im Hoy Ben Hashanah Be'ez Haleda, Dainin L'Sofik Ozinin L'Chumr B'Chol Dov Shum D'Oraisa. For D'Oraisa we go L'Chumr. Just one crazy, very, very, very short thing, interesting thing. What about if he's born Ben Hashmoshes? If he's born Ben Hashmoshes, and when do you actually celebrate the Sudas Mitzvah? So take a look at footnote 35. The Indian Zman Shel Sudas Bar Mitzvah, Kosev B'Shad Shuv Shevet HaLevi, Shekivin Shemedin Sofik D'Oraisa Mischayev. Since Mid'Oraisa, you've got to err on the side of caution. Mischayev in Kol HaMitzvahs, Kfar Me'ayom Harishon, from the first day already. Imkein Yom Zeh Hu HaGoyim. Therefore, that day is the Goyim that causes him to become Bar Mitzvah, Es Chiyuvoi, and obligates him in our Torah, Ba'al Bar Mitzvahs, Yesh Lismach Ba'is HaYom. And therefore, on the first day, that will be the day of the Bar Mitzvah. Okay.